June 12, 2025, began like any other day in Haifa. The city awoke to the gentle glow of sunrise, its streets slowly filling with life as the world outside seemed calm and predictable. The city bustled with its usual energy. Cars honked, shopkeepers opened their doors, and the oil refinery on the edge of town hummed with activity, its smokestacks rising into the morning sky. People commuted to work, children hurried to school, and families planned their day, unaware that this Thursday would become a turning point in Middle Eastern history, a day that would be remembered for generations. Suddenly, the ordinary was shattered. Air raid sirens blared across the city, shorter, sharper, and more urgent than ever before. The sound cut through the morning air, sending a wave of panic and confusion through the population. Before most could react, a massive explosion tore through the refinery. The blast was sudden and overwhelming, catching everyone off guard. A towering fireball erupted, black smoke billowed into the sky and the ground shook for miles around. Windows shattered, alarms wailed, and chaos erupted as people scrambled for safety. The attack was more than just destruction, it was a message. The rules of conflict had changed in an instant, and the world was watching. The weapon responsible was Iran's Fattah-1 missile, a hypersonic missile long debated by military analysts. Once dismissed as theoretical, it was now proven devastatingly real, its power undeniable. The missile slipped past Israel's advanced defenses, including the famed Iron Dome, something once thought impossible. The unthinkable had happened, and the implications were enormous. The world watched in shock as flames lit up the Israeli coast. News channels broadcast live images of the inferno, and social media exploded with disbelief and fear. This single strike did more than damage a refinery, it shook Israel's faith in its technological shield. The sense of invincibility, built over decades, was suddenly in doubt. The attack exposed a critical weakness, one that Iran had exploited with precision, signaling its growing military prowess and its willingness to challenge the status quo. For Israelis, it was a moment of profound vulnerability, a collective shock that rippled through society. For Iran, it was a strategic triumph, celebrated as a demonstration of newfound power. The Middle East, already a region of simmering tensions, had just become far more dangerous. Borders bristled with new uncertainty, and military convoys moved under the cover of darkness. The age of hypersonic conflict had arrived, ushering in a new era where speed and unpredictability could decide the fate of nations. Israel's security doctrine, built on technological superiority and layered defenses, was now in question. The nation faced a sobering reality: no shield is impenetrable. The Fattah-1's success forced a reckoning among military experts and policymakers alike. No defense is perfect, and the balance of power can shift in a single moment. The region now faced a new era, one where speed, surprise, and advanced technology could shatter even the strongest shields, leaving nations scrambling to adapt. The world would never see missile warfare the same way again. Leaders gathered in crisis rooms, analysts debated the future, and ordinary people wondered what would come next. Haifa's burning skyline marked not just the devastation of a city, but the dawn of a new kind of war, one that would redefine security, strategy, and the very nature of conflict in the 21st century. The Fattah-1, also known as the Conqueror, marks a dramatic leap forward in Iran's missile technology. It's not just another missile, this is a statement of intent, a symbol of technological ambition and military prowess. Its headline feature is its astonishing speed, reaching Mach 13 to 15. That means it can travel from Iran to Tel Aviv in under 7 minutes, crossing vast distances in the blink of an eye. This kind of velocity is rarely seen outside the world's most advanced missile arsenals. Such speed leaves air defense systems with almost no time to react, making traditional interception methods nearly obsolete. By the time a threat is detected, it may already be too late. But speed isn't its only advantage. The Fattah-1 is engineered for more than just raw velocity. Its maneuverability truly sets it apart. Thanks to a sophisticated movable nozzle, the missile can alter its course mid-flight, weaving unpredictably through the sky. This makes it extremely difficult, if not impossible, for current missile defense systems to lock on and intercept. With a range of about 1,400 kilometers, the Fattah-1 can strike targets across the Middle East. All of Israel and many US military bases are within its reach, giving Iran a powerful tool for regional influence and deterrence. The missile carries a 500-kilogram conventional warhead, enough explosive power to devastate critical infrastructure, military installations, or strategic assets in a single strike. What makes the Fattah-1 a true game-changer is the combination of speed, agility, and range. It's not just fast but also smart and far-reaching, making it a formidable challenge for any adversary. It's specifically designed to defeat the very air defense systems that Israel and the US have spent billions developing and deploying. The Fattah-1 is a direct response to years of technological investment by its rivals. The Fattah-1 challenges the long-held idea of technological dominance in the region. It signals that the balance of power is shifting, and that no defense can be taken for granted. Its arrival forces military planners and strategists to rethink everything about missile defense, early warning systems, and regional security. Every assumption must now be questioned. This isn't just a weapon, it's a strategic tool designed to shift the balance of power in the Middle East. Its presence alone is enough to alter military calculations and diplomatic strategies. The Fattah-1's arrival means the Middle East security equation has changed overnight. Regional actors must now adapt to a new and unpredictable threat. The world must now contend with a missile that can outpace, outmaneuver, and potentially outsmart almost any defense system currently in existence. The Fattah-1 is not just a missile, it's a message. When Iran unveiled the Fattah-1, many doubted its claims. Was it truly hypersonic or just a rebranded ballistic missile? Skeptics pointed to Iran's history of exaggeration. But the Haifa strike forced a rethink. The missile evaded Israel's dense air defenses, proof enough of its threat. Whether or not it's a true hypersonic glide vehicle, it works. The Fattah-1 combines speed and agility, challenging old defense paradigms. It's a significant evolution from Iran's older missiles, which were easier to intercept. The debate over its technicalities faded, its impact was undeniable. For Israel and its allies, the Fattah-1 is a new level of threat, real, present, and effective. Israel's missile defense is a multi-layered shield. The Iron Dome intercepts short-range rockets, saving countless lives. David's Sling counters medium to long-range threats, filling the gap between Iron Dome and Arrow. The Arrow system, especially Arrow 3, targets long-range missiles in space. Each layer is designed to catch what the others miss, creating overlapping protection. This defense-in-depth strategy has been Israel's cornerstone for decades. Together, Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow were believed to form an impenetrable shield. But the Fattah-1 exposed cracks in this armor. The old confidence in missile defense was shaken overnight. Iran knew a single missile could be stopped, so it devised a strategy of saturation and deception. Before launching the Fattah-1, Iran unleashed waves of drones and older missiles as decoys. Israel's defenses scrambled to intercept the swarm, using up interceptors and attention. Amid the chaos, the Fattah-1 streaked in, fast, agile, and nearly invisible. The Arrow system, built for high-altitude threats, couldn't catch it. Lower-tier systems were overwhelmed. The Haifa strike proved Iran's doctrine combined numbers with technology to breach even the best defenses. Israel and its allies now face a new reality, complex, multi-pronged attacks that exploit every seam. The technological edge alone is no longer enough. Defense must adapt to a battlefield where confusion is a weapon. The Fattah-1's success forced a total rethink of Israel's defensive posture. The era of simple missile defense is over. The US responded instantly to the Haifa attack, reaffirming its commitment to Israel. Intelligence sharing and military assets were put on high alert. Discussions began about deploying more US missile defenses to the region. Diplomatically, the US condemned Iran and pushed for new sanctions. The goal, isolate Iran and pressure its missile program. But every move risked further escalation. Iran saw the US response as validation, possibly fueling its missile ambitions. The region entered a cycle of action and reaction, with the threat of direct US-Iran conflict looming. Deterrence and escalation now walked a razor's edge. The world watched, hoping to avoid a wider war. The Fattah-1 strike devastated Haifa, lives lost, families shattered. The refinery's destruction crippled Israel's energy supply, sparking fears of shortages and price spikes. Rebuilding would cost hundreds of millions, if not billions. Oil prices surged globally, and markets trembled at the risk of wider conflict. Israel's defense budget ballooned as it raced to counter the new threat. The attack's economic shockwaves rippled far beyond Israel. The cost wasn't just in lives or infrastructure, but in the urgent, massive investment now needed for security. The Fattah-1 forced Israel and its allies to pour resources into new defenses. The true price of the strike would be paid for years to come. The Haifa attack sent shockwaves across the Middle East. Iran's allies celebrated, emboldened by the missile's success. America's Gulf partners were alarmed, fearing their own vulnerability. Urgent talks began to strengthen regional defenses and cooperation. Globally, the response was grave. Europe condemned the attack, while Russia and China called for calm but blamed US policy. The world's divisions deepened, making diplomacy harder. Israel's likely retaliation threatened to ignite a regional war. The risk of escalation was real. A single misstep could trigger catastrophe. Diplomats scrambled to prevent a wider conflict. The world watched, anxious and uncertain. The balance of power in the Middle East had shifted overnight. The arrival of the Fattah-1 hypersonic missile has fundamentally changed the security landscape for Israel. Suddenly, the threat is faster, more unpredictable, and much harder to counter than anything seen before. For Israeli defense planners, this is a game changer that demands urgent action and a complete rethink of existing strategies. Defending against hypersonic missiles is a daunting challenge. It requires the development of entirely new technologies. Interceptors that can react in seconds, radars that can track objects moving at several times the speed of sound, and even sensors based in space to provide early warning. The old systems simply aren't enough anymore. Israel is now racing against time to upgrade its missile defenses, pouring resources into research and development, and working closely with allies to share intelligence and technology. Engineers are testing new systems, and the military is conducting frequent drills to prepare for the unthinkable. But defense isn't the only focus. Offensive capabilities are also being prioritized. Destroying enemy launchers before missiles can be fired is now a top priority. This means more intelligence gathering, precision strikes, and rapid response teams on constant alert. Deterrence becomes even more critical in this new era. The goal is to make any potential attack so costly and risky for adversaries that they think twice before acting. Military parades, publicized drills, and visible readiness are all part of this strategy. As a result, Israel may adopt a more aggressive posture, keeping preemptive action firmly on the table. The military is preparing for scenarios where striking first could be the only way to survive. The risks of escalation are very real. Tensions in the region are rising and the margin for error is shrinking. Yet the need to adapt and respond to these new threats is greater than ever. With the Fattah-1 in play, attacks could come with almost no warning. The speed and unpredictability of hypersonic missiles mean that even the best defenses can't guarantee safety. Diplomacy is under immense pressure as leaders struggle to prevent conflict. But with military buildups on both sides, the risk of open confrontation is higher than it has been in years. The balance of power in the region is shifting rapidly. Both Israel and Iran are scrambling to adapt, deploying new strategies and technologies in a high-stakes race. Despite the tension, there remains hope for stability. The world watches, hoping that diplomacy and deterrence will prevail over catastrophe and destruction. The ruins of Haifa serve as a stark and painful reminder of what's at stake if these new weapons are ever unleashed in full force. The cost of failure is measured in lives and cities lost. The hypersonic age has arrived, bringing with it unprecedented challenges. Now the world must respond through innovation, cooperation, and a renewed commitment to peace.